Okay, next what I want to do is turn our attention to the idea of assignment operators. So if you go to line 45 of your variables.py script, you're going to see a series of options in here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set that value. I'm going to say a equals 5. Now if I look at a is going to actually add up or equal 5. Now I could actually say a equals a plus, let's just say 1. And then if I look at the value of a, you'll see that it actually incremented by 1 point. If I do it repeatedly, I can actually increment this value. Now the problem is this is longhand and it's not a very efficient use. So what the Python people did is they actually gave us a series of shortcuts. So as an example, if I take a and make a equal 1, if I take a and make a equal 1, so I assign the value of 1, and I say a plus equals, and then what I can do is I can put a numeric value in here. I could say 1. That's basically shorthand for saying I want a to actually have 1 added to it. I could come over here and say, well, I want to add 5 to it. So if I say a, that's going to take me to 7. I can do the exact same thing for subtraction. So if I just put a negative sign, it's going to remove 5 from the value, and we can see there that's going to result in a principal of 2. Now another thing I could do is I could actually use division. So all I'm going to do is I'm listing the variable, the action, the assignment, and saying, okay, divide by 2. That's going to give me a value here of print a of 1. Now notice it turned it into a integer. So again, if I come over here, well, I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just say I was going to assign the value of x. And we see here I can actually do it for multiplication. So I want to take a and I want to add or multiply it by itself 10 times. So now if I take a look at the value for a is now 10. So the whole goal here is that that's going to be the idea. Now what I did is I didn't times it by itself. In this it's going to be the a equals a times whatever that value is. So I did a, so 1 times 10. So I apologize, I was thinking about the exponent. So if I wanted to take 10 and times it by itself twice, all I would do is a operation will be exponent equals and then do it 2 times, and now my a should be 100.0. So you can see here these are the normal assignment operators, and we'll use the plus a lot in a lot of our scripts that we're going to be playing with in the actual class, because we'll only want to be able or iterate a script or a section of a script a couple of times, or 3 or 4 times, normally 1 per every device that we want to configure. And then when we exhaust that, what we'll do is we'll just actually come out of whatever loop it is we're deploying. Now don't panic, we'll talk about loops later on, but just keep in mind that when we go in and we're working with Python, we need to understand these operators. And right now I know it's kind of an ethereal concept, but I promise you're going to need to learn how to use these. And you're going to need to learn to take your knowledge of Python and apply it to any data that we might, say for instance, read from a device and need to interpret. Sometimes we'll read information and it'll come to us in a particular format, but we can't manipulate it when it's in that format. We'll talk about something called casting later on, where we can actually change the data formats to where it can be manipulable. So as an example, I can take 1 and times it by 2 and get a value of 2 because they're both integers. But what if I have 1 and I have a value of 3, which is a string? I can't times an integer by a string. I can only time integers by integers or integers by floats, or floats by floats. So again, we may need to understand how to manipulate the data and how to make modifications to it, and these tools that I'm talking about right now are the way that we actually do that. So that covers assignment operators. After assignment operators, we are going to move to a conversation about built-in arithmetic functions, because the cool part about it is that almost all of our different data types, whether we're talking strings, whether we're talking about lists, tuples, dictionaries, anything that we've talked about thus far, are going to have a series of built-in functions that are going to be built to help more readily allow us to be able to manipulate the particular data type that we're working with. All right, so that pretty much covers what I wanted to talk about when it came to assignment operators. I'll see you guys in the section on arithmetic functions. Till then, keep studying.